My name is Daisy. I am 25 years old. I work as an assistant in one of the city's tallest corporate towers, handling schedules, emails, coffee runs, and the occasional crisis for Mr. Alexander Mitchell, CEO of Mitchell Enterprises. I love my job most days, the sleek glass offices, the view of the skyline at dusk, the quiet satisfaction of keeping everything running smoothly. But Mr. Mitchell is a difficult man. He almost never smiles. His voice is clipped, his instructions precise, and his expectations impossibly high. I've worked for him for 2 years, and in all that time I've seen exactly one half smile, when a major deal closed ahead of schedule. Even then, it vanished in seconds. Today started like any other. I arrived at 7:45 a.m., placed his black coffee, no sugar, no milk, on his desk, organized the morning reports, and waited. He strode in at exactly 8 o'clock, dark suit impeccable, jaw set. Daisy, the quarterly projections are late. Fix it. No hello, no good morning. Just that. I nodded, already pulling up the files. By noon I had them corrected and on his desk. He scanned them without a word, then said, "Stay late tonight. We have a presentation for the board tomorrow. I need everything perfect." I stayed. The office emptied floor by floor until it was just us on the executive level. Rain began tapping the windows around 7 p.m. I brought him updated slides, he reviewed them in silence. At 9, the storm worsened, thunder rumbling, lightning flashing over the city. The power flickered once, twice, then held. Mr. Mitchell glanced up. "You can go home now." I checked my phone, alerts everywhere. "Sir, the trains are suspended. Metro lines are flooded." He frowned, looked out at the chaos below. "Then you'll have to wait it out." I settled at my desk outside his office, scrolling news. The storm was massive, roads closed, power outages spreading. Around 11 p.m. the lights went out completely. Emergency generators hummed on, casting dim red glows in the hallways. Mr. Mitchell emerged, tie loosened slightly, the first time I'd seen him anything less than perfect. "The building's on lockdown until morning. Security says no one in or out." I swallowed. Alone with him, overnight, in the dark. My heart raced, a mix of nerves and something I refused to name. He gestured toward the executive lounge. "There's a couch. Get some rest." I followed him in. The room had a small kitchenette, bottled water, snacks from meetings. We sat on opposite ends of the long leather sofa, silence thick between us. I tried small talk. "Do you live far?" He answered curtly, "Penthouse. 10 minutes on a normal day." Then nothing. I pulled my knees up, hugging them. The thunder rolled again. Hours passed. Around 2 a.m., he spoke unexpectedly. "Why do you stay in this job?" I blinked. "I like the challenge. And I learn a lot from you." He looked at me then, really looked. "Most assistants quit after 6 months." I shrugged. "I'm not most assistants." For the first time, something softened in his eyes. Not a smile, but close. We talked, about the company, about late nights, about how he built it from nothing after his father lost everything. I told him about my small-town roots, how this job felt like proof I could make it. By dawn the rain eased. Power returned slowly. He stood. "Thank you for staying prepared." I smiled. "That's my job." As we left the lounge, our hands brushed reaching for the door handle. Neither pulled away immediately. My pulse thundered louder than the storm ever had. The next week felt different. Mr. Mitchell still didn't smile, but his tone lost some of its edge when he spoke to me. "Daisy, join me for the client lunch today." I almost dropped my tablet. Assistants didn't usually sit in on those. I wore my best blouse, the orange one that made me feel confident, and sat beside him at the restaurant. He introduced me as essential to the team. The clients smiled, I blushed. Back at the office, he started asking my opinion on small things, slide layouts, email phrasing. Once, when I suggested a bolder approach for a pitch, he paused, then said, "Implement it." It worked, the deal closed faster than expected. That evening he left a note on my desk, "Well done." No signature, but the handwriting was unmistakably his. Friday came with an emergency. A key investor pulled out last minute, the board panicked. Mr. Mitchell called me into his office at 6 p.m., "We need a contingency plan by midnight." We worked side by side at his conference table, papers spread everywhere. He paced, I typed furiously. Around 10, he loosened his tie completely and rolled up his sleeves. I'd never seen his forearms before, strong, dusted with dark hair. I caught myself staring and looked away. He noticed. "Tired?" I shook my head. "Just focused." He sat across from me, closer than usual. "You've been invaluable this week." His voice was quieter. I met his eyes. "I like helping you succeed." Silence stretched. Then he asked, "Do you ever think about what comes after this job?" I hesitated. "Sometimes. But right now, I'm happy here." He nodded slowly. "Good." We finished at 1 a.m. He offered to drive me home since the trains were still unreliable post-storm. In his sleek black car, the city lights blurred past. Neither of us spoke much. At my apartment building, he parked and turned off the engine. "Daisy." I looked over. "Yes?" "Thank you. For more than the work." My breath caught. Before I could respond, he added, "Get some rest." I stepped out, heart pounding. Monday morning I found a small envelope on my desk. Inside, a gift card for a nice restaurant and a handwritten note, "For your dedication." A.M. Colleagues whispered. I tucked it away, smiling to myself. Something was shifting, slow but undeniable. Weeks turned into a quiet routine of longer hours and shared glances. Mr. Mitchell, Alexander, though I still called him sir, began including me in more meetings. One afternoon he asked me to travel with him to a conference in the mountains. 2 days. "You'll handle notes and logistics." I agreed instantly. The drive up was tense at first. He drove, focused on the road. I sat beside him, laptop open, pretending to work. Rain started again, lighter this time. He turned on classical music, I relaxed. Halfway there he spoke. "Tell me something personal." I laughed nervously. "Like what?" "Anything." "I know your resume." "Not you." I thought. "I paint sometimes." "Watercolors." "Nothing serious." He glanced over. "I'd like to see them one day." My cheeks warmed. The conference lodge was cozy, fireplaces everywhere. Our rooms were adjoining, company policy for assistants. That night, after dinner with clients, we ended up in the lounge with hot cocoa. He loosened up away from the office. We talked about books, travel, childhoods. He admitted he hadn't taken a real vacation in years. Work fills the silence. I touched his arm lightly. "Maybe you need new noise." He looked at my hand, then my face. Neither of us moved. The next day, during a break, we walked the trails. Mist hung low, pines smelled sharp. He stopped at a viewpoint. "Daisy, I don't do this, get close to people at work." I nodded. "I know. But you're different." My heart raced. "How?" "You see past the title. You challenge me without fear." I stepped closer. "Because I respect you. All of you." Back at the lodge, a power flicker trapped us in the elevator briefly. In the dim emergency light, he turned to me. "If this weren't work." He didn't finish. The doors opened. We stepped out, breathing hard. That night I lay awake, wondering what he'd almost said. The conference ended successfully. On the drive home, tension hummed between us. He pulled over at a scenic overlook just before dusk. I need to say something. I waited. What happened in the elevator? I almost crossed a line. I swallowed. I didn't mind. He looked pained. You're my assistant. There's power imbalance. Rules. I reached for his hand. Then changed them. He didn't pull away. It's not that simple. We sat in silence as stars appeared. Finally he started the car. Let's keep things professional. Back in the city, he grew distant, shorter emails, fewer meetings. I felt the loss like cold air. One evening I stayed late again, organizing files. He appeared in the doorway. Why are you still here? Because I care about the work. And about you. He sighed. Daisy, stop. Why? Because if you don't, I won't be able to. I stood. Then don't. He crossed the room in 3 strides, stopped inches away. This could ruin everything. Or make it better. His hand cupped my cheek. Time slowed. Then he kissed me, slow, careful, like testing fragile glass. I kissed back, hands on his chest. When we broke apart, he rested his forehead against mine. We can't do this here. We left separately. But the next morning, a text from an unknown number, dinner tonight. Off the clock. I smiled for the first time in days. Our first date was at a quiet Italian place far from the office. No suits, no titles. He wore a dark sweater, I wore jeans and the orange top. Conversation flowed, movies, music, dreams. He laughed once, actually laughed, when I teased him about his coffee obsession. The sound warmed me more than the wine. After dinner we walked along the river. He took my hand. I haven't done this in years. Dated? Felt anything real? I squeezed his fingers. Me neither. At my door he kissed me again, deeper this time. Good night, Daisy. At work we were careful, professional nods, no touches. But stolen moments, a brush in the copy room, a lingering look across the conference table, kept the spark alive. One Friday he asked me to his penthouse to review a contract urgently. I knew it was an excuse. His place was minimalist, stunning views. We sat on the couch with files we barely touched. He set them aside. I can't pretend anymore. He pulled me close. We kissed until breathless. Clothes stayed on, but boundaries blurred. I want this to be real, he whispered. No hiding. I nodded. Then let's figure it out. We decided to keep it secret until we could navigate HR policies. Dates happened after hours, movies, quiet dinners, long drives. He opened up more, about losing his parents young, building the company to prove something. I shared my fears of not being enough. He always listened. One night at his place, after a perfect evening, he said, "Move in with me." I laughed. Too soon. Maybe. But I hate the empty mornings without you. I stayed over anyway, first time. We fell asleep tangled, no rush beyond holding each other. Work grew complicated. A rival company poached a big client, stress mounted. He snapped at staff once, including me. Later he apologized in his office, door closed. I'm sorry. I never want to hurt you. I kissed him softly. We'll get through it. But rumors started. Someone saw us leaving together. Whispers followed me. I ignored them until an anonymous email landed. People are talking. Be careful. The email was the beginning of trouble. Board members questioned his focus, a junior exec hinted at inappropriate conduct. Alexander called an emergency meeting, with me present. If anyone has concerns about professionalism, speak now. Silence. But the damage spread. I suggested space. Maybe we cool it at work. He refused. I'm not ashamed of us. One evening we argued, first real fight. You don't get it, I said. This could cost me my career too. He softened. Then we'll face it together. He proposed going public, quietly, to HR first. I agreed. The next day we met with compliance. They listened, nodded. As long as no direct reporting conflict and productivity stays high. Relief flooded us. That night we celebrated, dinner on his balcony, city lights below. He got down on one knee with a simple ring. Marry me, Daisy. Not because of the job, but because I can't imagine life without you. Tears came. Yes. The announcement was small, an internal memo, then a quiet engagement party with close colleagues. Smiles all around, even from him, real ones now. Work continued, but lighter. I took on more responsibility, he trusted me completely. Months later we married in a small ceremony by the lake, simple, intimate. On our honeymoon he smiled freely, laughed often. Back home, life settled, shared mornings, evening talks, building a future. Sometimes I look at him across the office and remember the man who almost never smiled. Now he does, for me, for us. The storm that trapped us started everything. And I'm grateful every day that it did.